Hey y'all, it's Megan again. Thank you for joining me. Today's video we're going to talk a little bit about the old timers and people not so long ago in this area anyway, how they made it through the hard times. Because I'm just going to be honest with y'all, we think we're seeing hard times because we go to the grocery store and they ain't got our favorite brand of coffee. We go to the grocery store and they don't have that prepackaged dinner that we always buy. But y'all know what? Not so long ago in this area, people, the only person they depended on was themselves. If their garden didn't grow, if their cow went out of milk, it wasn't good, okay? They didn't have a pot to piss in. A lot of these people, my daddy's 58 years old, and he remembers living in a one-room cabin, no running water, no power, and toting water up from the spring so they could take a bath, so grandma could wash clothes. So that's something I want to talk to y'all about today. So let's talk about why back then people made it. As hard as times were back then, you know, grandma, great grandma, they had people going to war. Woman was left there by herself. Y'all know what? They made it. They made it. And we look back and we say, you know what? Them were the good old days. Them people worked hard. Worked themselves to the bone, okay? And I believe one reason they kept on and keeping on is because of their faith in God. If you don't believe in God, I'm sorry for you. Because I'm praying for everybody in this country right now. But they believed in God. They believed that there was a higher power, that they were on this earth for a reason, and they were here to take care of their families and raise their families and live the best life that they could live. It's a big thing. I think we can learn from that. We need to have faith. Noah had faith. Everybody thought Noah was crazy when he was building that ark. I had a good comment on my last video that said Noah got prepared. And you're right, he did. Noah listened to God and what God was telling him. And he did the work that God told him to do. But everybody thought he was crazy. So I say all that to say this. Keep the path, stay the path. God's speaking to you and telling you to get prepared. I believe you should do it, folks. Now, people back then, I'm going to say, were they stressed? Yeah, I'm sure they were. If the garden didn't grow, cow went out of milk, pigs died or something wrong with them, anything, then they were going to starve that winter. But I believe that they didn't have time to think about it, y'all. They had so much work to do, they did not have time to think about it. I think they worked their stress away. My grandma and my grandpa, they farmed tobacco, and they both worked a full-time job. How many people could do that now? My father-in-law and mother-in-law the same way. These are people that I know, y'all, okay? These are people that grew up in hard times that I've personally heard the stories of how hard they grew up. My daddy got one pair of shoes a year because they couldn't afford nothing else. That pair of shoes had to last him all year when he was a boy. And we ain't in hard times. We ain't in hard times. But I believe those folks, I believe they worked their stress away. They didn't go in the house. When they got home, they didn't go in the house, sit down and watch something depressing on Netflix. Sit down and look through social media and look and see if anybody's judging them or anybody liked their post. No. They had more work to do. They worked from before the sun come up till after the sun went down every single day because they had to. They had to. My daddy still works like that today. He burns wood heat. Him and Mama burn wood heat in their house. My daddy cuts wood from the beginning of spring till the end of fall. So they'll have enough wood to get them through the winter. Now, yes, they do have a furnace. If worse ever come to worse, he could just cut the furnace on. But he wasn't raised like that, y'all. He wasn't raised like that. He cuts wood to make sure they got enough to get them through. Because that's the way he was raised. And that's the way he raised me. Is you work hard to have a happy life. You do for yourself. You don't depend on nobody else. He has put that in my head since I was a little girl. So I believe those people, maybe they were stressed, but they worked their stress away. So what I'm telling you is, when you get home, don't go to your phone first thing. Don't cut on the TV. Go outside. If you live in an apartment, I know you got somewhere to walk. Go outside and walk. Get you some containers to put on your balcony. And start planting you some seeds. If nothing else, go find you somewhere to volunteer. Stay busy. I can't say that enough. The best thing we can do for our bodies and our mental health is to stay busy. So when I say stay busy, I'm not saying go and spend the rest of your evening at the mall. I'm saying spend your time learning a new skill. If you live in an apartment, you can make bread. You can cook from scratch. You can find fresh vegetables to learn how to make something out of. Stay busy. Stay busy. That's the best thing we can do. Like I said, our ancestors, they had to stay busy. They didn't have a choice. And right now, we're not at that point. I can still go down here to the food line and get vegetables if I have to. If my garden don't do good, well, so I can just go down here and get some vegetables, okay? But I think staying busy got our folks through, okay? I think they got our folks through. The next point I want to make is they didn't take no crap, y'all. They didn't let nothing bother them because they didn't have time. They didn't have time to fool with he said, she said, oh, they hurt my feelings. Okay? That's back then when men were men. My daddy and my father-in-law, they are men. My husband is a man. Okay? He ain't worried about how his hair looks. He ain't worried about his clothes. He's worried about feeding his family, getting our stuff together, getting these fences built, getting this garden ready. So, that's back when men were men, okay? I'm going to tell you, that's been instilled in me as well. I like to, a lot of people know not to cross me, not in an ugly way. But I'm going to tell you what I think. Because I am not letting anybody run over me. For my personal mental health, and I teach my youngins the same thing. If my little boy comes home from school and tells me somebody punched him in the face, well, I'm going to be teaching him to break somebody's nose. Not throw the first punch, but he's going to finish it. Because that's something, we've got so soft. We have got so soft these days. Oh, I'm offended. Oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, my goodness, I'm going to go in my room and cry for 3 days. Now, I'm not making light of somebody that's got like a chemical imbalance, mental disorder. I am not at all. But we need to be a little harder, y'all. Okay? Don't let the little trolls on the internet hurt your feelings, because you know why? Most of these people that make these ugly comments on Facebook and all these different places, they're cowards. They would never say that to your face. They never would. Why would they? They're scared. They're hiding behind their little computer screen, behind their keyboard. They just think they're just great, saying whatever. My mama and daddy have instilled in me since I was a little girl not to take no crap off nobody. And I think that has served me well. I wouldn't say I've made enemies along the way. I'm not some butthole that's going to come in and act ugly. Sorry, y'all, I'm looking at my cat. I'm not some butthole that's going to come in and be ugly to the cashier or the, whoever, wherever I'm at, the workers or nothing like that. I appreciate them being there. When I go to the store, I just want to shake somebody's hand and say, you know what, I appreciate you coming to work today. Because I do. I do. But if you're going to be ugly to me, I don't think so. You're going to hear my thoughts on it. And I just ain't going to have no more use for you. Okay? And that has been instilled in me since I was a little girl, and it served me well. Nobody's going to run over me, and I'm going to make sure my kids know it ain't nobody going to run over them. To be kind and to be ugly if you have to be. Okay? Now, some people may not agree with that. I'm probably going to get some hate for that right there. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay? So, like I said, make sure that we're putting our trust in God. Have faith in God. He's going to get us through. Okay? But He's going to give us the skills and the tools to get us through. And we got to use them. We got to help others that can't use them. But if you can, you better get your butt in gear, okay? We got to stay busy. Don't sit there and watch the news and get sad. Don't sit on Facebook for hours on end. Find something to do. Something that is productive. Find something to do. I don't care, like I said, if you live in an apartment or you live on 100 acres, find you something to do. And don't take no crap. So, that's all I got for you today. I hope you learned a little something. I'm going to get back to cooking before long, I promise. But I hope you learned a little something. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, oh well, sorry if I offended you. I'm not really sorry, but it just is what it is. And anyways, I'll see y'all next time.